like it that you endorse living a full and fun life. I've always tried to live as normally as possible with my allergies. So let's talk about some practical tips. So starting nursery or school. I'm guessing you chat to the school long in advance. And what kind of preparation do you put in place?
So first of all, when you're looking around nurseries or school or childminders, you want to be able to have that conversation, see if they've had any experience with allergies before. And it doesn't matter if they haven't, as long as they're open and understanding to doing something about it. So for James's school, for example, there's nut-free schools in our area. We didn't choose a nut-free school, partly because we preferred the school that he's at to other schools, and partly because with his multiple allergies, we actually felt that maybe it would be better if they were all kind of thought about equally there. So we spoke to his school pretty much as soon as he got his place accepted, and I said I want to sit down with the head teacher and with his class teacher, and I made a long list of all the things I wanted to go through. I like lists, a long list. We need to cover this.
Toolkit.
We need to cover all of this, and it's really about communication. It's about working closely with them and not necessarily going in there and saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, saying, look, these are the things we can do to keep them safe. What can we put in place? How can we manage that? And we were lucky that they were very receptive. We've obviously had little, bumps along the way where we've had to have other conversations, but overall they've been really good at having a very clear plan.
So presumably James has a packed lunch and he knows not to have any food from anyone else's packed lunch?
Yeah, exactly. So he knows not to... So as you say, partly it's about James, talking to your child as well to make sure they understand their allergies, which is obviously easier as they get older. When they're at nursery or even when they're just starting school, they're still quite young to fully grasp it. But simple things like you never share food, you never eat anything unless you know the ingredients, or mum or your trusted teacher, if you trust them, has looked at it. Knowing what a reaction feels like or what to tell somebody, and what needs to be done about it. Always washing your hands. Just simple steps can make a massive difference to things.
And so, apart from school, we've got eating out. Now this is one thing that still scares me as an adult. Even if a restaurant tells me everything is perfectly safe, I still feel afraid every time I eat out. And we know, because Emma and I are part of a number of people on Twitter who often communicate about good and bad experiences in eating outlets, and we know that some places get it right and you really feel safe and you feel looked after, and other places don't. So if you're a parent of children with allergies and you're going to eat out, what are your top tips?
I'd say take it slowly. So if you haven't done it before, and it can be scary, don't force yourself to do it. Don't go somewhere you feel uncomfortable. I'd say start with a chain restaurant, start with somewhere that has been recommended to you or that you've heard other people know is good. And most of those now will have allergy menus online, so you can go on and you can check it beforehand. Now, the thing is, it's only for the top 14 allergies, so if you have something outside of that, it gets a little bit more complicated. So the best thing to do is contact them in advance. Either email them or call them up, and then you can usually get a good grasp of if they get it or if they're willing to help. And that's not just chains. I mean, we went to a tiny little pub in Norfolk the other week when we were on holiday, and we rang them up beforehand, and the chef was amazing. So willing to go through things and went off to look at all the ingredients, and didn't make us feel like we were being a pain, and we totally trusted him. So it's not just chain restaurants in the slightest, but that's sometimes the most comfortable place for people to start. So it's a good idea to know in advance what you'd like to eat or what you'd like your kids to eat. So I usually call them up and have a couple of options and say, look, we're looking at this and we're looking at that. Can you let me know if that's safe? I've looked at the allergy menu if there is one, but because we're dealing with allergies outside of that, we have to ask extra questions. And then just knowing what questions to ask on top of that, in terms of a common one is how things are cooked. So often things might be fried in the same oil as something else, or cooked on the same grill as something else.
As something that had some pesto on it or something. I'm thinking immediately of the nut ones that apply to me, but you've got many more to consider as well. And I know that a lot of people think, oh, what a nightmare. And sometimes it does feel like that, and it must feel like that for you, but like you say, you still want to live a normal life.
Yeah.
And really, why shouldn't you?
Why shouldn't you? Exactly. And I think it's really important to do that, kind of for your well-being and for the anxiety, to know that you can go out and do that. And especially when you're teaching the children as well, you don't want them to think at that age that it has to hold you back from doing things. And you know as much as I do, and as how much of life revolves around food that you don't realise until it's an issue. You know, how much of socialising or going out is, oh, let's just grab some food, or let's go to lunch. If you avoided all those situations, it would be quite tricky. I mean, I will say when they were little, and still sometimes in certain situations, I will take their own food.
Yeah.
But as they get bigger, like now James is 6, we kind of get growing out that stage a little bit now.
Yeah, no, I've eaten my own food in a restaurant or an eating outlet before, because I mean, it's the safest option for them as well. You know, it avoids me having a reaction in the outlet if they can't pay to me, or if it doesn't look like there's anything there that I would feel safe with. Now, travelling. So I always take my own packed lunches on a plane, and I know that I put to great use in any hotel the minibar fridge, where I just move all the alcohol and all the bottles out of the way and store my safe foods in there in case I need my safe food at some point. So you must be travelling with a lot of kind of backup safe food. So what would your advice be for kind of holidays when you've got allergies in the family, apart from packed lunches? Yeah,
so I'd say it's perfectly possible to do. Again, it all comes down to planning and preparation, like so much with allergies. So I'd say, especially to start with, you know, self-catering is the easiest option, especially with kids. You know, I know plenty of people with allergies that do go to catered places, but the easiest and safest one to start with, if you're nervous, is definitely to go self-catering, so that you can, you know, prepare all your own food. Yeah. And again, it's about planning ahead, finding out what out there you can get. You know, so are there certain things that you're going to have to take with you or that you can get out there? Understanding the labelling laws in different countries. Now, Europe is quite straightforward in terms of they've got the same labelling laws as us. Whereas if you go to America, they only have 8 allergens. They don't have to label for sesame, for example.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you've got a sesame allergy, it's a whole different game going to America than it is going to Europe.
I remember on one holiday, I must have been in a Spanish-speaking country, because I remember having... I'd asked a waitress to help me, and she'd written on the back of like a business card, I have a severe nut allergy in Spanish, so that I could show it to anywhere or any waiter or waiting staff. Do you recommend things like that? Obviously,
absolutely, yeah. Get yourself an allergy translation card of some sort. There's different places that do them. Allergy UK do them. There's other places you can order them online, and you can have stock phrases like that. You can have all your different allergies on there. And yeah, that is, you know, so important, so that you can communicate. YouTube viewers, I really appreciate you watching that video. It would be wonderful if you hit the red subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it means that you'll get notified whenever I post a Health Hackers video. You can follow me on social media too. Handles right beneath me. I love hearing from you. Bye bye.